This video is about the online transition of peer leading for general chemistry. In order for the peer leaders to have their own virtual peer leading sessions, I created 44 Canvas dummy courses with the help of my TAs. A course for each peer leading session was created. After we created the peer leading virtual courses, we sent the course invitations through Canvas to the peer leaders and the students. To each course, we added the peer leading teaching assistants as instructors. The peer leaders were added as the TAs, and the general chemistry students were added as students. As you can see here, this is showing some of the dummy courses that we created for peer leading, and each course is named with the peer leader's name, and it also shows the Gen Chem section that the students are enrolled in. I conducted a virtual training session using the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra to train the peer leaders on how to use the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra in order for them to conduct the virtual peer leading. I trained them on all these features of the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. We use the share files option to upload the peer leading activity and any other information such as the periodic table. Use the whiteboard to work out problems. Use the chat option to answer any student questions, and then use the polling to ask a specific question from the students, for example, to find out which question they're working on right then, and then also took attendance. I conducted the virtual peer leader training weekly, and it was done the day before their virtual peer leading session. So in the first 30 minutes, the peer leaders would work on the chemistry activity, and they would work with each other and chat among themselves. And then also I would interact with the students using both the video and the chat options. Once the peer leaders were done with the chemistry activity, I would conduct a whole class discussion, and I would go over each problem using the whiteboard. And it was done in a question answer style where I would ask the peer leaders to explain the steps and things like that. And at the very end, I would post the detailed answer key for the peer leaders. And also before they left, I made sure that they would upload the peer leading activity in each of their dummy courses so that they would be ready the next day for the virtual peer leading. To make sure that the general chemistry students knew how to access the virtual peer leading sessions, we put an announcement in each of the dummy courses, letting them know where to go to access the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra and how to join the peer leading session. This is how the virtual peer leading sessions were run by the peer leaders. In the first 30 minutes, they let the students work on the chemistry activity and the students would chat among themselves, and the peer leader would interact with the students with both the video and chat options. And once the students were done with the chemistry activity, then the peer leader would work out each problem using the whiteboard and would ask questions from the students and ask them what steps they used and things like that. So it was a question and answer style discussion. And then at the end, the peer leader would post the answer key for the students. So the peer leaders would upload the peer leading activity for the students to work on, and they would project it while the students are working on the activity. And of course, they would use the Zoom to make it more visible for the students. And then they would use the whiteboard to work out some of the problems. So for example, they would use the whiteboard to draw Lewis structures. So here they would draw, for example, the Lewis structure of ammonia. And they would also use the text option to type things out. In the fall, I plan to do virtual peer leading. And I will be doing the virtual peer leading using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And I also plan to use the breakout group option on Blackboard Ultra. I'm going to use it to assign formal groups of 3 to 4 students in the peer leading sessions. That way, the students can work with their group members on the chemistry problems. Then during the whole class discussion, instead of the peer leader presenting the problems, the students from each group can work out the problems. So it would be great to have that breakout group option. So that is the plan for the fall.